It was supposed to be a 5-hour drive. Just 5 hours. Adam had done it before, countless times, in fact. Route 74 from Raleigh to Asheville wasn't unfamiliar to him. Long, winding highways flanked by trees, a couple pit stops here and there, and plenty of podcasts to keep him awake. But this time something was off. It started with the silence. Not the kind of silence you get when your podcast ends, or your playlist loops back to track one. This was different. Eerie. He'd been driving for hours, yet his GPS kept blinking, searching for signal. The last time he looked at his phone, it was 7:16 p.m. It stayed 7:16 p.m. for the next hour. He tapped the screen, restarted it, tried switching apps. Nothing worked. The clock on the dash blinked the same, 7:16, over and over. The sun outside had already set, but the digital time didn't budge. He brushed it off. Maybe the battery was fried. Maybe the car charger wasn't working. Weird, but not terrifying. Not yet, until he saw the gas light blink. He was somewhere between two exits. Nothing but pitch-black trees on either side and a distant hum of cicadas. No cars passed him. No lights. No signs. He hadn't seen another human being in almost an hour. Then the headlights caught something, a crooked, rusted road sign barely clinging to the edge of the woods. Next gas, 1 mile. Relief. He followed the narrow turnoff, tires crunching gravel as the road narrowed into something more like a forgotten driveway. The trees closed in tighter like skeletal arms. Branches scratched the sides of his car. Then through the trees it appeared. A gas station, dimly lit. 2 rusted pumps. A flickering red neon sign that just read gas, barely illuminating the single-story shack behind it. There was an old red truck parked off to the side, but no one inside. Adam pulled in, parked beside pump 2, and stepped out. The moment his foot hit the pavement, he felt it. The air was heavy. Still, not the cool night breeze he expected, but warm, dead air that clung to his skin like smoke. The silence was even deeper here, like sound had been sucked out of the world. He looked toward the building. The windows were stained yellow, like nicotine had seeped into the glass. There was someone inside, a figure, standing completely still behind the counter. Not moving, not watching, just there. Adam waved a little. No reaction. He grabbed the gas pump, clicked the lever. Nothing. He pressed the button. Still nothing. Frustrated, he walked toward the building. The door creaked open before he could even touch it. A soft bell above jingled, but the tone was warped like it played underwater. The man behind the counter was in his 50s. Thin, pale, wearing a grease-stained white shirt with a name tag that simply read Roy. But he didn't look up, didn't speak, just stared forward. "Hey, pump isn't working," Adam said. "Do I pay first?" The man blinked once, then very slowly turned his head toward Adam. "Pump 2, yeah, you need to leave before it loops again." Adam frowned. "What?" Roy just stared. His lips didn't move. The sentence had sounded like it came from somewhere else, through the walls, or maybe from under the floor. "I just need some gas, man," Adam said, unnerved. "I've been driving for hours. Nothing's open out here." Roy finally looked at him. Really looked. His pupils were enormous, swallowing the color of his eyes. He opened his mouth slowly, almost like it hurt to speak. "You already paid." "No, Roy reached under the counter, pulled out a receipt. "Set it down." Adam picked it up. Dated 6 days ago. His name. His card number. Pump 2. His heart skipped. "This isn't mine." Roy didn't blink. "You were here. I just pulled in. Like 5 minutes ago." Silence. Then, the lights above flickered. The ground seemed to hum, barely perceptible, but enough to make Adam step back. "I'm leaving," he muttered, crumpling the receipt. He walked out fast, heart pounding. He got back in the car, turned the key. Engine roared. Reverse. Back onto the gravel path. Trees. Darkness. GPS still dead. Time still 7:16. But when the gravel turned back into the highway, he gasped. The gas station was right in front of him again. He slammed the brakes. Looked around. No turns. No side roads. Just one long stretch of road that should have taken him away. He spun the wheel, tried a different direction. Speeding now. Past the trees. Following nothing but instinct. 10 minutes later, he was back. Same pumps. Same red truck. Same flickering sign. Inside the store, Roy was still behind the counter. Same position, same blank stare. Adam's hands trembled. "What is this?" he whispered. "What's happening to me?" Roy slowly looked up, but it wasn't him this time. It was Adam's own face, reflected in the glass of the window behind the counter. But in the reflection, he was behind the counter, wearing Roy's clothes, watching himself walk in. He turned sharply. No one behind the counter now. Just a mirror, his own pale, wide-eyed face blinking back at him. He ran, out the door, into the car, slammed the pedal. This time he didn't turn, didn't try to follow the road. He crashed through the woods. Branches snapped. Tires screamed. His eyes stung with tears. And then black. He woke up inside the car. Sunlight. Birdsong. The normal kind. His phone vibrated. 8:23 a.m. GPS working. 76% battery. Gas tank full. He looked down. In his cup holder. A receipt. Same date as yesterday. Same pump. Same signature. No memory of it. He never found the gas station again, even when he drove the route later that month. No turns. No sign. No Roy. Just endless road. And now, every time the clock in his car hits 7:16, he starts to feel it again. The weight. The silence. The loop trying to pull him back. Tyler hated driving at night, but it was the only way to make it to his cousin's wedding on time. He left Chicago just past 9 p.m., planning to push through until morning. Long stretches of I-55, blacktop rolling under the headlights, occasional glowing signs for motels or fast food. He'd done road trips before, but there was something about this stretch, southern Illinois, farmland and forest, that felt empty. Not quiet, not peaceful, empty. By midnight, he was already exhausted. He sipped from a lukewarm energy drink, flipped through radio stations. Everything was static or late-night preachers yelling about fire and damnation. Then came exit 112. The sign said, "Gas, food, rest. Exit 112 to 2 miles." Perfect. He turned off, headlights sweeping across cracked asphalt. The road narrowed immediately, the trees thickening like a tunnel. There were no streetlights, no visible buildings, just shadows. Then he saw her, a woman, standing at the edge of the road, pale, tall, barefoot, wearing what looked like a hospital gown. Tyler hit the brakes. Heart jumped. She didn't move, just stood there, facing his car, arms at her sides. Her hair was long, matted, almost covering her face. He rolled the window down slightly. "Hey, are you okay?" She didn't answer. She stepped forward. Tyler backed the car up instinctively, tires skidding slightly on gravel. She stopped, tilted her head. One slow, twitchy motion. He leaned toward the passenger seat and locked the doors. That's when she smiled, a grin far too wide for her face. Lips stretched, jaw cracking as it opened. Her eyes didn't match, one normal, the other completely white. Tyler floored it. The car roared forward. He swerved around her, half on the shoulder. As he passed, he saw her mouth open, screaming something silently. No sound, but his ears rang anyway. Back on the road. Faster. Trees blurring past. And then, headlights. Coming from behind. He checked the rearview mirror. Another car. Black. No license plate. Getting on him fast. It got so close, he could make out the silhouette of the driver. Except there was none. The seat was empty. No one was driving it. His pulse spiked. He switched lanes. The car followed. Tailgating. Lights flashing. Suddenly, the radio snapped on. A woman's voice. Not a DJ. Not a song. Just her. "Exit the vehicle." Tyler yelled and turned the volume knob. Nothing changed. "Exit the vehicle now." The voice repeated, cold and motionless. Not yelling. Just certain. He slammed the brakes. The black car vanished. No screech. No turn. Just gone. He looked around. No buildings. No gas station. Nothing but endless trees. His hands trembled. He was still at exit 112. He'd never left it. No matter how far he drove, the signs always came back. Exit 112 to 2 miles. He tried everything. GPS wouldn't load. Phone battery dropped from 45% to 3% in minutes. No signal. He even turned around once, drove back toward the interstate. 5 minutes later, exit 112. Again, again, again. The woman appeared once more. standing in the road, blocking both lanes. He stopped this time, rolled the window down just enough. "What do you want?" he called out, voice shaking. She raised one hand, slowly, pointed toward the woods. He followed her gaze, and in the shadows between the trees, he saw them. Others. People. Dozens. Standing still. Faces pale. Eyes blank. All of them watching. He shut his eyes. "No," he whispered. "No, no, no." When he opened them again, they were gone. So was she. The next morning, Tyler woke up on the side of a real gas station, parked behind a dumpster. His phone buzzed. 5 missed calls, 6 texts from his cousin. No signs of the other car. No hospital gown woman. No exit 112. He checked the map. There was no exit 112 on that stretch of highway. Not anymore. According to a local Reddit thread he later found, that exit was shut down after a patient from a nearby mental hospital escaped in 1992. She wandered into traffic, caused a 4-car pileup, died instantly. They buried her in an unmarked grave near the trees. People say sometimes she still walks the road, waiting to guide someone else off the highway, into the woods. Tyler never drove at night again, and sometimes on long drives he still sees signs that don't exist. We weren't supposed to be out that late. Me, my friend Riley, and his younger sister Cara were heading back from a camping trip in Utah. We'd left a day early after a bear tour through someone's cooler near our site, and none of us slept much after that. The goal was to hit the highway before sunset and be home in Nevada by midnight. But we were behind. Dirt roads took longer than we thought. By the time we hit I-15, it was almost 9:30 p.m. Riley was driving. I was in the passenger seat. Cara dozed in the back with her earbuds in, head resting on a rolled-up hoodie. Everything was still, empty, not a single car for miles. That's when we noticed the truck. Big, black, old, looked like something out of the 70s, with a rusted chrome grille and massive tires that sounded like thunder on the pavement. It came up behind us, headlights too bright, way too close. Riley muttered something and switched lanes. The truck followed. He sped up. So did the truck. We slowed down. So did it. I turned in my seat and looked through the back window. Couldn't see the driver. Just glare like the headlights were too strong to look past. We passed an exit. The truck stayed on our tail. No plate. No logo. Just this roaring beast shadowing us like it had nowhere else to go. Riley turned to me. "Tell me I'm not crazy." "You're not." That was the moment we should have exited. Taken any ramp. Gone to a gas station. Something. But we didn't. We kept going. 15 minutes later, it was still behind us. Never passing. Never pulling back. Cara woke up. "Why are we going so fast?" she asked, rubbing her eyes. We explained. She looked behind us and immediately went pale. "That's the same truck from the diner," she whispered. Riley and I looked at each other. "What diner?" I asked. She shook her head. "When I went to the bathroom, there was a truck just like that in the back lot. Same rusted front. Same color. I swear, I even saw someone inside." "Did they see you?" She hesitated, then nodded. We took the next exit, did a full loop under the highway, and pulled into a well-lit Chevron. 2 other cars were parked at the pumps. A cashier inside. We waited. Nothing. The truck didn't follow. No lights. No engine. Just gone. Riley got out to fill the tank. I went in to grab energy drinks. Cara stayed in the car, locking the doors. While inside, I asked the clerk, an older guy with a lazy eye and cigarette-stained fingers, if he'd seen a black truck pass through. He didn't even blink. Just said, "You boys been up in the canyon?" "Yeah." He nodded like that explained everything. "You leave something behind?" "No." "Then it's probably not you it wants." I laughed, thinking he was joking. He didn't laugh back. Back on the road. No sign of the truck. But the air was thick now, like static. Every car light in the distance looked like it could be him. Cara was wide awake, hugging her knees. Riley didn't say much, just kept his hands at 10 and 2, knuckles pale. Then we saw it again. The truck, waiting at the shoulder. Engine off. Headlights dark. As we passed, they flared to life. It pulled out behind us. This time it was faster, more aggressive. It weaved in and out of lanes like it wanted us to crash. At one point, it sped up beside us, swerved toward us slightly, then dropped back. Riley lost it. Screamed, "I'm calling the cops." No service. None of us had any. It was like we weren't on the map anymore. We took another exit. This one led into a small town. I don't even remember the name. We pulled into a grocery store parking lot and killed the lights. The truck didn't follow. We sat in silence. That's when Kara spoke again, barely above a whisper. It wasn't the same truck. We turned. What? She nodded. The grill's different. The headlights. The one at the gas station had a crack on the driver's side. We didn't understand. You think there's more than one? She just stared. Eventually, we started driving again. Saw no more signs of it. No more trucks. Just towns, exits, and eventually home. We slept at Riley's that night. All of us in the same room. Door locked, lights on. No one said anything. 2 days later, I got a package at my apartment. No return address. Inside was a Polaroid, a photo of us, from the road, through the windshield, and in the reflection of the rearview mirror was the black truck and someone smiling in the driver's seat. Highway 93 in Nevada is the kind of place where you can drive for an hour and not see a single soul. No gas stations, no homes, no trees, just endless flat desert and cracked asphalt stretching so far into the horizon, it feels like the earth just gave up halfway through building something. I was headed north. Solo trip. Had to clear my head after a brutal breakup. I figured the silence might help. It was the middle of June, brutally hot, even at 7 p.m. But the sun was low, the sky bruised with orange and violet, and the road was empty. Peaceful, almost beautiful, until I saw him. At first, I thought it was a bag of trash. Then it moved. A man, lying face down in the ditch, just off the shoulder. I slowed down, looked in the mirror. He didn't lift his head. I pulled over. Something felt off immediately. I didn't know why, but I hesitated before stepping out. Kept the engine running. The man was in jeans, a torn white shirt, barefoot. Looked dirty, like he'd been out there for days. I called out to him. Nothing. Got a little closer. His arms were at his sides, stiff. His hair was matted with something dark. Sir, nothing. He wasn't unconscious. He wasn't asleep. He was pretending. I backed up fast. Something about the way he was lying there, too still, too deliberate, gave me the worst gut feeling I've ever had. I got in the car and locked the doors. As I pulled away, I looked in the mirror again. He was standing, back still to me, arms limp, facing the desert. Then he turned his head, just the head, not the body, and stared right at my car. I floored it. Didn't stop for 2 hours. I reached a gas station near Ely, way up north. Pulled in, hands still shaking. The place was dead quiet. Just an old man behind the counter and an AC unit barely keeping up with the heat. I told him what I saw. His reaction chilled me more than the man in the ditch. You got lucky, he said. You didn't stop. I told him I did. For a second, he just shook his head. There have been stories, he said. People disappearing on that stretch. Cops find their cars with doors wide open. Keys still in the ignition. No blood. No struggle. Just gone. I asked who the man was. He didn't know. But, he added, there's always one thing the witnesses say. Whether it's the same guy or not, the body is always face down. Like it's waiting. I stayed at a motel that night, afraid to sleep. Kept checking the window. My car. The hallway. Every shadow felt longer than it should have been. Every sound felt like footsteps that stopped when I looked up. I left the lights on. Didn't dream. But I did hear something, around 3:40 a.m. A soft knock on my door. Not the kind that demands attention. The kind that waits for you to come closer. I didn't. The next morning, I left before the sun was up. Didn't stop until I crossed into Idaho. About a week later, I went to check my dashcam footage. I'd forgotten it was even running. Most of it was dust, wind, heat haze. But then I found the file from that evening. The one near the ditch. I watched myself slow down. I saw the body. Still. But here's the thing. When I walked away from the car, when I left the frame, the man lifted his head. Not all the way, just enough to look into the camera. And he smiled. Right before laying back down. I still have the footage. Can't bring myself to delete it. Because every so often, when I rewatch it, I notice something else. Something further back in the frame. A figure. Distant. Standing by the road. Far enough to look like a blur. But every time I check, it's closer than before. And I don't know how many times I can rewatch it before it reaches me.